I heard a little bit of grumbling a little while ago about the amount of time and whether we're adequately compensated. Some saying that perhaps the day of the part-time director and more toward the professional director is changing. So what advice are you offering your clients in this elephant in the room? Because it's interesting that none of us really seem to be focused on our compensation.
It ends up being several things. It ends up not only being the total value of dollars, but it also depends on the way in which you're providing that compensation. You know, some numbers were thrown around of how many. I think some of the studies are showing 250 to 350 hours is normal director time as to what's going out there. And again, Fortune 200 companies, I think, or S&P 200 companies, somewhere in the area of $250,000 to $300,000 a year of pay going. It seems like a pretty good deal to me, especially for shareholders. It seems like a pretty good deal for shareholders if they're properly being used. And I think we've seen the other drastic change we've seen in the last 5 to 10 years with directors has been that sleepy directors or non-performing directors aren't being tolerated anymore in the majority of companies. The evaluation process gets pretty tough. The tough decisions of maybe you shouldn't be sitting for re-election this year are out there. I think, again, it's looking at the amount of time that's involved. It's looking at the opportunities. One of the things we used to talk about was the determinants of director pay was size of the company and industry. We're seeing the industry differential starting to get blurred a little bit as some of the poorer paying industries like utilities have said, I can't attract CEOs or people with talent because at the levels we're paying because they have better opportunities in other places. So I think, you know, our view is look at all the, quote, good governance issues that are out there. Make sure you're ticking all the boxes for those, or at least the ones you believe to be important. And with regards to pay, you know, make it as the only way you can make it performance-based is to make it equity-based. And try and make sure you understand what you're paying versus the rest of the market as you go through. It's a touchier, feelier kind of thing than even executive pay, I think, because it's directly related to directors. But up till this point, there hasn't been a lot of noise on it. I've been surprised.